Welcome back, everyone, to our coverage of the IAE 2054. Today is Alien Day, so we're going to be going over all the alien manufacturers. They're all clumped together, and that's basically because there aren't all that many alien ships currently in the game, but they are kind of interesting, so we will talk about them quite a bit. Alright, well, without further ado, let's get started. Alien ships are, one of those things where some people are really into them and other people just don't like them. And in terms of buying ships on the website, the alien ships tend to be more expensive, so it's, really a question of, do you really love the ship? And if you do, then you go for it. And if you're not really in love with it, then you probably pass. But then again, everything can be gotten in game, so don't think of it just in terms of financial cost. It's always a question of, going after what you want and finding goals in the game to work towards. Alright. We just have a huge smattering of ships right from the bat. Right from the get-go. But as you can see, it's all just in the main central hall today, and a little bit underneath. So let's get started. So I believe this one over here on the left, this is the... Well, I'm not sure if it's actually the oldest alien ship, but it's a pretty old alien ship. It was added, as well as some of these other ones. This one was added long before they had component access in ships. But anyway, this is the Banu Defender. It's basically looks like a crab. Wait, let's run away for a second. Looks kind of like a crab, right? With its two big claws, and it's like big sort of circular eyes, and then the mouth right in the middle. Anyway, it's the crab ship. It has this interesting dual cockpit layout. You see it's very organic in here. So this is made by the Banu. They're an interesting race, but they're extra large in stature. And this ship was actually custom made specifically for humans. Marketed to sell to humans. I think these are supposed to be component access things, but it's never been finished. We do have both two side cockpits, but it doesn't really matter which one you use. Both of them can completely control the ship. Let's go ahead and get in the seat of this one. Traditionally in airplanes in the real world, the left seat is the pilot seat, which is why you also find that on most of our human ships in the game. But on this ship, it really doesn't matter. So yeah, normally this would all be illuminated, but this is just a show ship for the show, so... Now, this is basically a heavy fighter, although I think they might designate it as a medium fighter, but it's definitely a heavy fighter. And it has not only the shielding and weapons, but the fuel to really show for it. So this is a popular ship to run. Because again, it's basically a decent fighter. It's got really good distance. And since it does have an interior, you can run basic boxes for some box delivery missions. So, a pretty good all-arounder. And it did have two beds in the inside. And you can see it's all gold. Very fancy. Very alien in its design. Next we have the Glaive. Now this is supposed to be a Vanduul ship, however the Vanduul, the alien species, they've been radically redone since the ship was originally concepted. So the Vanduul ships actually look very different. I think they look much more like the Blade over there, which we'll look at, I guess, at the end of the circle. But this ship, it's a pretty expensive ship to acquire, I believe. It might even be pretty hard to get these days, but it will eventually get a major change. And it's a high damage, heavy fighter. It's not very maneuverable, so it's definitely vulnerable to, really evasive human pilots. But against the NPCs, this is a really powerful ship. Really great guns on it. And in the lore, it's actually meant to be able to slice through ships. See, these are actually blades. That's why it has sort of a weapon name, the glaive. And that ship over there, the blade. So, but that's not in the game yet, so that's for the future. One other thing to mention about this ship is it has a red internal display for the UI, which makes it kind of hard to understand who's an enemy and who's not. But on the flip side, it has red fire that comes at the end. So if you want a ship that has red glowing rockets on the back, then this is pretty much the one. Moving swiftly on, we have the giant space prawn, and the Prowler. This is actually a Tavaran vessel. The Kavarin are like a bird people, but they tried to commit total war against humanity, and we basically aced them. So their empire was destroyed, and they're kind of their species has not completely died out, but there's very few Tavaran left, you could say, and they all survive within the human empire. But this is made by this company Asperia. They basically make reproductions of historical ships. And this isn't a historical ship because it was used in the wars against the Tavarans. Or I should say the Tavarans used it in the wars against us. So this ship is actually a dropship. A stealth dropship. In fact, before we go inside, look at these things. These are meant to be special hover technology so that it can very stealthily hover around. It is meant to have stealth capabilities. Now as we enter here, you'll see that there's an energy field around the door. This is basically the first ship in the game that had air shields. And it has air shields over each of these doors as well. These are basically the drop pod doors. Somebody opened them all for us, but here they are closed. And you can see here are the seats where you sit ready to drop out. Or I should say hold on, because you don't really sit. You basically bring this thing down like a little harness, and you sort of stand in place with them until the captain says go, 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 and then you bust out of your seat and you just jump out the airlock and you're good to go. Ready for combat. But if you look at the ceiling, look at this. It looks kind of like a bird's nest. So this kind of goes again with the idea that this is from a bird people. But every time I look at this roof, I just think about how dusty this whole thing would get. How would you clean this thing? What if there was blood splatter that went up in here? How do you clean that? So anyway, never mind that. That's a minor detail. Oops. That's why you shouldn't leave the drop pod doors open. When you come forward here, there's actually 3 more seats. So there's 8 here for people. So 8 troops straight up. 3 more here. A 4th one on this side. A turret gunner seat. Let's get into the seat for a second, actually. So this is not glass. These are not glass panels. These are actually screens. I didn't mean to turn on the turret, but if we go down here, we can manually turn on and off the viewport. Look at that. So this is actually what it looks like. And then these holographic panels or whatnot, they shift to allow you to see out the cameras. Because again, if you look at the front here, this is completely solid. So it's a really cool technological design, and kind of surprising that we don't have anything like this on any of the human ships. This is basically an alien design. And in terms of actually piloting the ship, you'd be surprised, but it's sort of a hidden ladder here. Doesn't quite look like a ladder at first glance, but this is a ladder. Takes us to the second floor. This is the pilot's seat here. Get a bit of a higher view, but it has the same sort of interesting technology display panels. And actually has decent visibility down, which is nice for a pilot for such a high seat position. You never get old. I mean, basically the time that you'll see this generally is when your ship is off and you get in and you turn it on for the first time, and it does that. Never gets old. Also, if you're fighting an opponent in space and there isn't any kind of debris or asteroids around to worry about, and the sun is getting in your face, you can turn off the viewport and you will still see your targeting reticle, you'll still see the targeting markers for ships around you, and you'll be able to fire at them without having to look at them. So, a little bit of a side benefit that most people don't think about, but it is there in case you want it. I believe this has dual size 4 guns. Maybe it has size 5, but it's pretty tanky for what it is, I will say. And it's also vulnerable because it isn't very maneuverable. You don't really want to dogfight in this. But instead, I mean, that's not really what it's for. It's, again, a stealth troop transport here. So for that job, it's actually amazing. Or I should say it will be, because some of its features haven't come into the game yet. It doesn't have its proper stealth. It doesn't have its proper hovering mode. But still, it's still a great ship, actually. Here we have the Santok Yai. This is from Apoa, which is actually a Xi'an, I want to call it a company, but it's actually kind of a family. The way that the Xi'an work is that they separate business and roles within their empire based on various families and their allegiance and loyalty to the leader of the empire. So that being said, Apoa got the contracts for building their warships, and this is what their design has yielded. So it looks very sort of flat, but that's actually an illusion because the ship transforms, and it's, with all Apoa ships, it's much more vertical than it looks. These things rotate down, and these are 360 moving thrusters. It's also interesting getting into these because there's basically like floating stairs. The Xi'an do a bunch of stuff with grav tech. So yeah, actually it's a floating chair that just moves us in this case. And look at this, isn't this cool? It looks very alien. You've got alien writing for each of the functions. And these are legit. CIG has fully developed a a language based on all of this, and yeah, these actually say various things in the special language. And the ship also features these special alien guns, which you cannot get on any other ship. And I don't believe they're buyable in game either. So the only way to get these cool looking guns is to rip them off of somebody else's APOA, or to buy the ship yourself. And again, look at this cool finish on this paint job too. Very alien, very cool. You see the seat just lifts us out, and then it moves right back into place. Very, very cool. Very, very sci-fi. I don't think that this ship is considered a top-tier combat ship in terms of human PvP, but it's very effective against PvE. You just have to be very careful not to let your thrusters get damaged. These APOA ships are really designed for people who are very careful now they fly, because if they get hit, then it can radically change how the ship flies. Now here we have a couple more Asperia ships. The Talon, and then this is the Talon Trike. This one is the energy weapon version. Or maybe it's even ballistic, I don't remember, but the point is that it has 2 big guns on it and just a few small missiles, whereas the Shrike is the opposite. It has these tiny guns, but it holds tons and tons of missiles within itself. So these open up in the front here. And the seat just comes down to greet us. Or squash us.
Another year, another IAE.
Okay, it's kind of bugged, but we should be turned around. Anyway, there we go. The cockpit should close. Yeah, there we go. And then these are again these special screens. Because again, you look at the front, no windows. And again, it has a button for turning the viewport off and on. So everything I said about the view screen is true for this one too. The other interesting thing about this one is that if you do a I don't know where it is on here. Most ships have a an emergency jettison lever between your legs, but wherever it is for the emergency escape, what's interesting about this ship is that instead of just popping out like in a normal ejection seat, the whole front of the ship actually launches outward. So basically, you remain in the seat for a small amount of time, while the whole front of this ejects from the rest of the ship and flies forward. So it's almost like you have this armor coverage as you're flying forward out of the damaged and probably exploding rest of your ship. And then when you're ready, you pop out of this thing, this protection, and then you're ready to maybe board another ship in the middle of the battle. Maybe something like that. The only thing I'll say about this version is that it has a better paint job. Green to purple instead of just sort of green to yellow. Or green to green or something. But not worth buying for that sake. And it does have a lot of missiles. Doesn't tell us how many there is there. But, yeah. Now here's another APOA ship. So this is again a Xi'an design. I think this one has the things you stand on. So here we go. These are the little standing blue pads. But I don't know how you could get up that without holding onto a railing, because that looks extremely dangerous. So this was the first Xi'an ship that we got in the game, and you can see it's not really as well developed as the other one. It also has this script on here, which is no longer accurate, I don't believe. It doesn't match the script of the other ship. And like the other one, it's got these 4 twisting jets, and this thing actually transforms, and again it gets very vertical. It's not meant to be in this long format. This is just for like storage, but it becomes a very vertical ship, and it has amazing movement and maneuverability, but it's very vulnerable. It's very easy to have these wings shot off, so you have to be a really skillful pilot to survive in one of these. That being said, if you are, you can just run like circles around a lot of enemies. But again, not considered super good in PvP because it is extremely vulnerable. And then here we have the Blade. This is also made by Asperia, because this is a reproduction of a Van Duel ship. See, here is the blade on the end, made for potentially actually puncturing ships in space combat by flying near them. Let's go ahead and get into the ship. A very weird alien way to control the ship. You basically straddle this thing between your legs, and then you get into position. So this is much more in line with the modern Van Duel look. But I think even this will get updated even further. Now you'll also notice that there's these central joints on the top, so one on either side. These blade wings actually move out to the sides more, and so they make a lot more sense to be able to scrape along a ship with the blade at the front. So I'm not really meant to be pointed inward. It's just like a landing configuration, so it takes up less space. And I believe this also has the red flames at the back, the Van Duel style. It's basically a light fighter, and I think it's the same or pretty similar to the other light fighters we have on the human side. So it's comparable, but it costs a lot more. I bet the alien tax. It does have these cool, unique weapons here, though. So if you're looking for something really cool that's alien, then this might be right up your alley. Also, given that CIG has explained to us that someday when we buy ships in game, some of this is going to be dependent on our reputation with various companies, or in this case, maybe various aliens. And given that this is a Van Duel ship, this might actually be very hard to get a hold of. So that might also explain why it's so expensive in the game. That one and the glaive over there. Expensive both in game and out of game. And then finally here we have the Seulin. This is one of the quote-unquote advanced starter ships. It's $70 currently, but it was cheaper originally when it first came out. But this is a Xi'an ship, but you'll see that it's not from Apoa, it's from Gatak. And they're a different family that's instead focused more on cargo transport. Now this is just a very basic shuttle, so it doesn't have much cargo, but the cargo boxes actually fit between these pods. So you can fit 2 cargo boxes here, and then 2 here, and then 2 over here. It's like a tri-ship, a 3-pointed ship or whatnot. 3 different of everything. 3 engines, 3 cargo sections, 3 guns. So here's how we get in. Let's close it first of all so you can see it, because it's all very fancy alien technology. Very nice. Not all ships have fuel ports currently in the game, but this one actually does, and we can access it over here. Cute little fuel port pops out. But we'll just leave it. These engines look really beautiful when they're firing. It's like a purpley pink. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. Anyway, as we move inside, let's close the door here. And we'll close up these panels because we're getting spoiled on the secrets of the ship. So that closes to form a seal. And then you'll see these are how the panels are meant to look. Very fancy looking panels, very cool material with these little cutout sections. And then when you open them, it exposes the components of the ship in such an artfully and gracefully done way. And you can even see the name of the different components written in the Xi'an text. A lot of players don't even notice these because they're just blend in. It's just so well done, but here they are. You'll see these buttons. These side buttons around it actually affect the lighting in the ship. Anyway, this is just more components inside if you hit the middle button. And then this panel does something similar here, so we'll close it up again. Beautiful. And then we'll open it. And then this one exposes these very fancy looking weapon racks. So 2 rifles, 2 guns, and then 2 tools. Very cool, and you hit the button and all your weapons go away back into this practically secret looking storage. Close this up because it just looks so nice when everything's closed. Very fancy. And then this is an armor rack. So these are little fancy, technically gravity thingies. So this will hold your armor here, floating, I guess. And then we have an elevator. And thankfully the designers decided to incorporate some English for us, because they're actually trying to sell this ship to humans. So we'll go to the cabin. And again, it's supposed to be closed, but it's fine. This is your bedroom here. Just a nice comfy bed with this sort of granite wall around you. It's the kind of thing that the Xi'an like. They're kind of like a turtle reefs. So here, this is basically just a place to stand and place items on your table. But I'm hoping that this will become like a cool console someday, maybe. We get a little bit of sort of privacy windows here, so you can barely look out and nobody can see anything on the inside. Your other button here, this actually lifts this seat, so you can sit down like a desk. Carl doesn't seem to be working on this display ship, but you can take my word for it. This section comes up, and then you can you get a button prompt, and you can sit down like a table. So you actually have a table where you can sit, so that's nice. A little bit of civilization, and you can also look out the windows here, which is cool. It's weird because again, this is a very vertical type ship. We're standing here, but you'll see when we get to the cockpit, we orient completely differently. So to me, this ship feels kind of like a tent, like I'm out camping somewhere. But also down here, this is a storage container. I don't think it's going to let us access it, but that's a storage. And this is a bathroom. A very tight-fit bathroom in here. There's not a lot of space, but there's enough. So this is both a toilet and a sink. Yeah. So the water comes down. You get your water for your toothbrush, whatever. But for the Xi'an, this is a toilet for them. So, but don't worry, yours comes totally clean, unused, totally virgin, don't worry. And then over here we have a shower. Yeah, rain-style shower. And then this pattern here is actually for the Xi'an to scrape their backs and exfoliate their skin. So very interesting. But don't worry, this is a toilet for us humans as well. So you hit this button over here, and then you get the most technically animated toilet in any video game ever. And we'll go ahead and put it away. Very fancy, very high tech. So you can definitely use your bathroom there. You can see more Xi'an text letting us know what's in here. And then when we go to the cockpit, we have more of these panels which have been left open. Go ahead and close these. That very fancy. So you come in here, almost feels like a chapel. That's the roof of the expo hall. And we have this interesting and weird sort of looking seat. There's also more Xi'an text around, so over here it says danger, don't touch. Same over here. And yeah, behind these panels we do have more components for repairing your ship when it needs to, or putting out ship fires. Looks like the fuses go right there. And yeah, we actually control the ship with these these purple orbs. So let's go ahead and get in the seat. Everything just kind of moves around. Let's go in and out again while we're in third person. It's really just incredibly high tech, all the things that move around. So now we'll just do it in first person. So you twist around, and then now you're looking straight upwards, and then these orbs come forward for you to control. It's all very fancy. Everything is in English here, which is nice. No Xi'an text. You have 2 MFTs, all purpley. And also the lighting on the ship, I don't think we can activate it, but it's purple, like a light purple. But it's also very strong, high distance, high visibility lighting from this. So it's a very cool ship. And also the material on the outside is very cool, especially to get some of these special paints. I highly recommend the purple and gold. So it's like a purpley marble with the gold inlay. It just looks absolutely incredible. And then you can see the 3 guns. They're just standard repeater guns. And there's actually quite a few retro thrusters here. So this thing can slow down super quickly too. Also, so these engines, they sort of transform and move forward. And then these cargo pods actually raise upward along with these auxiliary thrusters. And so it kind of hugs the cargo close to the ship. But as you can see, it's sort of like a tent shape in a way. So I kind of feel like I'm camping when I have this ship. You have your little base camp ship. And that's it. I mean, it's just a starter ship. It doesn't do a lot, but personally, I think this is my favorite starter ship. It has decent combat capability with its shots. It's really maneuverable. It's got all the basic amenities you need. And it's really fancy and cool looking. And it lands in a unique way that no other ship works that way. So, very unique, very cool. Alright, let's go downstairs now. So I believe, yep, here we go. This is the Apoa Nox. Again, Apoa does combat stuff, but these are also listed as racing ships, or I should say hover bikes, I should say. But look at this, 2 guns on them. Beast it. Very, very fast. Well, let's see if it'll let us aboard, yeah. And it's just very cool. And again, it's very fast, so be careful when you're flying these because you could easily fly yourself into a rock and explode, so just be careful. But definitely a worthy hover bike in the game. Yeah, there's nothing on the other side. So we're gonna go take a look at the concept ships now. In the display hall here. And this is the symbol for the Banu? It is the Banu. Okay, so this is the Banu Merchantman. This is a very large capital ship. It's like a capital trading ship. I think it holds something like over 2,000 SCU. I mean, it's a really gigantic cargo ship. Or it will be when it comes out. It has a very powerful size 8 turret on it, I believe. Single gun. I'm meant to have like a bazaar on the inside where you can have stalls to sell things. The Banu are a bit weird, so the sleeping arrangements are kind of communal. Everybody sleeps in one big room. And there is also medical facilities, but I believe it's meant to be some sort of weird healing gel, like you get into like a healing pool. So very cool, very weird, very alien, but it's not gonna come out for a bunch of years. People have been waiting a long time for this ship, and they're gonna be waiting a lot longer. Unfortunately. And then here, Gatak. This is their primary trading vessel that has been introduced to us so far. We can't see what it's gonna look like in terms of colors, but the promotional materials had this like cool metallic purple on all these. These cargo pods are kind of unique, triangular cargo pods. It's got these turrets on the side to help defend itself. And the marketing material also showed some sort of weird, like nutrient generation thing. But we have to wait to see what that's actually going to turn out to be. But overall, a cool, weird, alternative alien cargo ship, and again, we have no idea how this triangular stuff's gonna work with our square boxes, so hopefully it's a good cargo ship, but there's definitely a bit of a gamble with this. We don't know how good of a cargo ship it's really gonna be. And I think that's pretty much it for the alien day. With all the dead bodies I'm seeing everywhere, I'm a little bit worried that we're getting like alien body doubles in here or something. But hopefully not. But yeah, that's it for today, I think. So definitely tune in for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is the RSI day, which is going to be a very busy day because the Polaris, the capital ship, has come out, and everybody's going to want to rent and fly that thing. So the server performance might be horrible, but we'll just have to see. I'm doing these recordings pretty late at night, so it shouldn't affect anything. But it should be a much larger display for tomorrow. So definitely tune in tomorrow for the RSI Day overview. If you're enjoying these, definitely check us out on Twitch. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we're just very chill and relaxed, so come hang out and ask your questions. Always happy to help new players, no matter what. And speaking of which, if you are a new player, there is a free fly going on. So you can just go to the website, make an account, and download the game and try it during this event. Any ship that you want, you can rent that's in the game. Obviously, those hologram ships not in the game yet, but any of these things you could just walk right up to it, right up to the console especially, and you just hold the button and you've rented it. Hey, you have a few days of free rental. So you can try out anything you want, as much as you want, and if you want some bonus starting money for when you come into the game and when the game launches at 1.0, be sure to use my referral code there. You'll get extra bonuses from that. Alright, well, see you guys next time. Bye!